Are you kidding me? 67 people are dead. How do you explain that?
Okay, don't click ahead. This won't take long, and we'll get back to the absolute beatdown NTSB Chair Jenny Homendy gives to the FAA. But first, I need to give you some context for what you're about to watch. Now, usually these NTSB hearings are about as exciting as watching paint dry. However, this week, I don't know what has gotten into Jennifer Homendy, but I gotta say, I like her fire and passion lately. But this back and forth you're about to watch between the NTSB and the FAA looks more like a sitcom or an SNL sketch, but it's all too real. The subject is about the military helicopter traffic around the DC airport where the mid-air collision occurred. The NTSB is drilling the FAA over the fact that they have known for decades that the helicopter traffic has been a disaster waiting to happen. Yet the FAA, up until the crash, has literally ignored the situation. Oh, and pay close attention to these three childlike people behind me. They're the FAA, and they don't really instill a feeling of security into anybody. Oh yeah, and also, besides Smoke and Jenny Homendy, watch this guy. Well, his expressions will say it all.
Okay, so these three hotspots that were identified in an FAA November 2022 symposium. Hotspot 1, JPN Memorial Bridge transition. I think the request was to include something on the chart that said pilots use caution for runway 33 departures when DCA is in a north configuration, which this one was. Runway 1519 arrivals when a south configuration. Hotspot 2 was Haines Point. Hotspot 3 was Joint Base Anacostia, Bowling, Route 4, power plant region, and the request was to have something on the chart that says pilots use caution for fixed wing arrivals to runway 1 and to runway 33 when DCA is in a north configuration, runway 1519 departures in a south configuration. You're not aware of these recommendations?
I am aware of those recommendations. As I mentioned earlier, in 2023, Aeronautical Information Services received the requests from the DCA Helicopter Working Group, and I believe that's where those recommendations were made. Again, we implemented all of them with the exception of the addition of hotspots due to the fact that they are not within the VFR aeronautical charting standard.
Did you offer an alternative?
I have no evidence of offering the alternative at the time. However, it is our standard operating procedure to work with air traffic whenever possible to solve problems and to make the NAS safer through charting.
Okay, because I know you said they had some other route they could bring this up.
Yeah, it was the aeronautical charting meeting that Aeronautical Information Services hosts twice a year. It's our outward-facing outreach so that stakeholders and aviation industry can make recommendations for the aeronautical charts.
It just sounds very bureaucratic to me. You can just go seek it somewhere else rather than perhaps you might come back and say, well, we can't do this, but we can do that.
Oh, we do, absolutely. So what we do is we'll work with them, and I think as a result of the working back and forth, we added a caution note. I don't want to misspeak and say something that I don't know about for sure, but we work with the air traffic control offices to solve and address any issues that they might have.
Can I just ask, the request for, and I'm sorry, I'll be done. The request for language that said pilots use caution for fixed wing arrivals to runway 1 and to runway 33. You did that when in a north configuration?
I cannot confirm without it in front of me. Can I take an IOU?
Yeah, I don't think you did that.
Okay. I know that we added several caution notes at that time and also modified others. I just don't recall exactly which ones they were.
I'm just going to say that this is the very event that would have been the cautionary note for north configuration, fixed wing aircraft landing on runway 33. Member Innman. Member Graham. Member Innman.
I'll follow up on that. For charting, do you handle the entire United States?
My team does, yes.
Your team does. Are you aware of the special notices for LAX? I may be showing you something you haven't seen, but the LAX, it's not up there, don't worry.
Okay, I don't know exactly what you're talking about, so I can't comment, yeah.
The reason I bring it up is we found this as an exemplar of, I know you said you put some cautions in the notice section, right? LAX currently has a special notice, a caution, says intense helicopter operations. That seems a little bit more than a caution. It actually specifically describes when operating a line parallel and 1 mile north, the 91 extension gives all of those. They need to make regular position reports when not in contact with ATC. They give additional specifics. I guess I'm curious, how does LAX already have intense helicopter operations, and it's been there for some period, and DCA, which is being described by everyone here as being one of the most complex helicopter systems in the United States, did not have one before this accident?
They did not ask for it.
But they did. Did they not? They
asked for hot spots.
Can I?
No, please.
Can I? On March 15th, 2023, the working group formed for a safety risk management panel focused on exactly that. Let me just quote what it said. These routes and zones, referring to the Baltimore-Washington helicopter route chart, in the Ronald Reagan Washington National Airport ATC Tower airspace, that's what it said. These routes and zones are heavily traveled by medevac, military, law enforcement, photo missions, VIP movements, and support other special operations. In conjunction with the helicopter routes and zones, there is a high volume of fixed-wing aircraft that operate in the immediate vicinity of the published routes and zones. The current helicopter routes and zones have changed very little since 1999, while airlines, aircraft types, approaches, volume, complexity, crews, and many other factors have evolved. The Baltimore-Washington helicopter route structure has not. With the current route zone structure, helicopter operations are occurring in a proximity that has triggered safety events. These events have been trending in the wrong direction and increasing year over year. And then they recommended action. But are we really going to say, well, they didn't do enough? I'm not looking for an answer right now because honestly, I don't get it. Every sign was there that there was a safety risk, and the tower was telling you that. Yet you know what FAA did? After the accident occurred, you transferred out the air traffic manager, two assistant general managers, and the support, staff support manager, support person. I'm sorry, I don't know the exact title, but what you did is you transferred people out instead of taking ownership over the fact that everybody in FAA in the tower was saying there was a problem. But you guys are pointing out, welp, our bureaucratic process, somebody should have brought it up at some other symposium. Are you kidding me? 67 people are dead. How do you explain that? Our bureaucratic process? Do you know, we actually added up how many steps it takes to get from the tower to headquarters to figure out, and we ran all sorts of scenarios, how many steps it takes to get a policy change. 21 steps. Fix it. Do better. Member Innman.
I don't know if that was my time.